Hey, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a pre-fight show for UFC on Fox 19, Teixeira versus Evans. Yeah, this fight card is explosive. It's jam-packed, full of superstars. Yeah, wow. So this is a pre-fight show for the main card, and let's get started. So, with the predictions, of course. So the main event is a light heavyweight clash, 5-rounder, originally the co-main event with Glover Teixeira versus Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans, former UFC light heavyweight champ and winner of season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter as a heavyweight, who dropped down as light heavyweight and made a name for himself since then. And Glover Teixeira has made a name for himself for beating the likes of Ryan Bader and just a lot of big names in the UFC, and notorious for going on a huge win streak, having great boxing, having trained with Chuck Liddell. So, with that said, I gotta go with Glover Teixeira round 1 knockout. I think that Rashad Evans is still a great fighter, but Rashad Evans should have been able to beat Ryan Bader, wasn't able to beat Ryan Bader, and I think that if Rashad tries to use his wrestling on Glover Teixeira, he's going to learn the hard way that Glover has great takedown defense and not bad wrestling himself. I think Chuck Liddell did him well and taught him some good wrestling. And yeah, Glover Teixeira stuffs some takedowns and lands a quick knockout. So there you have it, Glover Teixeira round 1. Glover, and another quick thing, Glover has a chin more so than Rashad, I think. So if it stays stand up and they trade shots, I think Glover is going to come out the winner, and I think he hits harder too. So Glover, definitely first round knockout. But I like this matchup. I'm a big fan of both these guys. Yeah, then in the co-main event, we have in the women's strawweight division, Rose Namajunas versus Tecia Torres. Now this is a rematch. Tecia Torres won the first one in Invicta FC 6 by unanimous decision. And now they're both top 10 women's strawweights in the UFC. Rose Namajunas was a runner-up on season 20 of The Ultimate Fighter, and she is on a tear. She ripped right through Paige Van Zandt, finishing her in the 5th and final round by submission. And Tecia Torres has won some big matchups herself. Yeah, with that said though, I think Rose Namajunas is the more improved fighter of the two, and I think Tecia Torres, she has a lot going on for herself, but I think she just hasn't improved as much as Rose has. Rose, multiple submission victories, and I think eventually she could pepper Tecia Torres with some shots and get a second round submission. I'm picking Rose by round 2. I would say we'll say rear naked choke, just for fun, because Rose is really good at those rear naked chokes. But Tecia Torres will put up a fight. There's no walk in the park for Rose Namajunas. Yeah, then in a catchweight bout, which was originally a lightweight main event with Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov, Tony had to pull out due to injury, and Khabib got moved to second match on the main card, and this is now a catchweight bout against short notice replacement Daryl Horcher. Let's see here. Yeah, I think Daryl hits hard, like he says. I mean, you look at his past fights and his experience in Bellator. He has fought some names and experienced veterans, but Khabib, I think he's hungry. He's great at sambo wrestling. He could eat a couple shots. I think Daryl will try to land some big shots, but will find himself laying on his back with Khabib taking him down, and Khabib getting ground control and occasionally throwing in some ground and pound, en route for unanimous decision victory for Khabib Nurmagomedov. Yeah, I think this is pretty much a lopsided decision win. There might even be in the third round Habib getting a 10-8 round, but I can picture the first two rounds definitely going 10-9 in favor of Habib. So no matter how you look at it, um, Habib wins a unanimous decision victory, dominant by getting the ground control and occasional ground strikes. Then to kick off the main card, we have a featherweight clash with my local guy, Cub Swanson, versus Hakron Diaz. Now, Cub, if you're watching, I went back and forth on who could win this fight. I think Hakron Diaz will try to mix things up. I think he knows that you're going to try to strike with him. However, I'm giving you that slight edge, Cub, because I think your striking will keep him at bay, and once he eats a couple of those shots, he's going to want to stay back a little bit or clinch up to try to take you down, and I think that he's going to be confused after the first round on what to do, and then you'll just keep control of the pace of this fight and be the aggressor, and I think he'll ultimately stay standing, and you have the better stand-up, Cub. Thus, I got, I got, I'll say 29-28 unanimous decision victory. Hakron Diaz may walk out with one round in this fight. Maybe the third round, but the first two, I could see Cub winning this fight. So I'm saying 29-28 unanimous decision victory, maybe 30-27 unanimous decision victory for Cub Swanson. And he gets back to the win column in this, stays in the top 10 rankings of the featherweight division, and keeps his job in the UFC. So yeah, this is kind of a do or die fight for Cub. I mean, I don't know what the higher ups at the UFC are thinking. If if he loses this fight, what will they do with him? So I can't speak for them, but just saying, 3 losses in a row looks kind of steep. So Cub has to definitely win this fight any which way. And I think he uses striking to keep Hakron Diaz at bay and makes it a points fight and wins by unanimous decision. Because I think Hakron Diaz is pretty fast, but once he gets rocked with some shots, he's going to be hesitant to really engage a whole lot with Cub. So I think Cub wins unanimous decision in this one. So there you have it. There's my pre-fight show for UFC on Fox 19, Teixeira versus Evans. Stay tuned for my next episode, which is going to be a post-fight for this episode. So I have that episode in the coming days, and until then, see ya!